Hello everybody, and welcome back to another circuit tutorial. Now, as we all know from the famous crescendo, when you take a whip and you smack it at something, you teleport. What you want to do is you want to grab out a toggle button, but upon configuring them, you can turn their sound off so they don't make that annoying click sound, and then you can enable projectile collision. So, once you have that, you also should create some pillars so your player has something to stand on when they teleport. Place the toggle buttons inside of them. You're going to want to grab an event definition. Upon spawning that in, it's going to look like this. I just named mine Whip Logic Tutorial. Name yours whatever you want. So we're going to add a few different properties here. We're going to add player 1, add property. We're going to create player 2. Change that to player, and add that property. Then we're going to add position, rec room object, add the property. So what this does is it then gives us the ability to use event senders, which is what I want you to get out next. So once you have all your buttons, depending on however many toggle buttons you have, for me I have 4 because there's 4 different pillars. You want to go through and wire pressed and released into your circuit on your toggle button. You then want to take your player from pressed and wire it to player 1 and released to player 2. Then take the top port where it says toggle button into the position. So what this is doing is whenever the whip hits it, it'll send an output, and then whenever it hits it again, because the button can be pressed or released, it'll do the exact same thing, so you don't have to worry about resetting the button. And it's already saving your name, so it knows which player to teleport, and then it's getting this to know the direct position of where the player is teleporting. To add more, all you would need to do is just take one of those pillars and then your button, clone it up, and you'll have another one of these, and just wire it the exact same as you did the rest of these. Then you want to get an event receiver, which receives the events that you're sending. You want to then wire this into a set transform chip, and then you want player 1 to be the target on that. You then want to take the positioning of the, because when it presses the button, it's going to save the position of the toggle button. You want that position to go into a get position, and then you want that to run into the position of the set transform. Now, you're going to take player 2, and you're going to wire that to a different set transform. You're going to use the same position from that get position chip. So it's the same for both of these, just the players are different, and I'll explain here why shortly. For the rotation, so you can get it insanely smooth, what I would recommend is getting the local camera forward. This is a chip that you can get. Wire that into rotation. So, depending on wherever I'm facing, that changes. So it saves my position so we get that smooth little transform without it being all wonky and choppy. Now, what I want you to do after this set transform here, I want you to take this set transform and then wire it to this right here, and then just have your set transform wired into an if, so if it does fail, it'll go into this other set transform. If it fails, it'll set transform the other player. Then what you want to do is after this set transform, you'll play your sound effects, and then after true here, it'll play sound effect. So now when we grab our whip and we traverse, we get audio, which is really neat. Let me go over this again really quickly, just in case I sped through it. My apologies if I seemed like I was going too quickly. So, once you create your whip logic, which has 2 different player definitions and a rec room object, so we can get the position of the toggle button, you want event senders, which sends the definition of what this is doing. So on pressed and toggle, it'll activate it, teleporting the player. So if those buttons are toggled or untoggled, it'll still work all the same as long as it detects the whip. It'll get the player that hit the button with the whip, it'll then get the position of the button, so it's teleporting you to that specific button and not any other button. It'll then send all of that through the event receiver down here. The event receiver will then teleport the player according to the button. And if this one fails, because this one's pressed, if it fails and it's saying, oh yeah, the button's released, it'll just run through a simple if system and then set it to this other one, so it'll still teleport nonetheless. If it works, it'll play a sound effect audio. If it fails and plays this one, it'll then play the sound audio as well, so the sound audio gets played all the time. The position right here, this get position is just getting the position of the toggle buttons that you're hitting, just to teleport the player to that position. And then the local camera forward is just what's making it really smooth, because it saves where your player's looking, so it's not too choppy. Alright, thank you everybody so much for watching today's tutorial. If you enjoyed and want to see more tutorials like this, make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.